Hi, I'm Shannon Register of Register Real Estate Advisors. Welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Monday. Today we're going to be talking to people who rent houses and also to landlords who want to rent out houses. The first thing that I want to tell you about is the rental commission. So if you look over on the side of the board, a lot of people call and they say, well, I have a house to rent out. I want to know what kind of commission I have to pay on that. So when you rent out a property, the tenant pays the first month's rent to the real estate company. So that's how the real estate company gets paid, is the first month's rent. The security deposit also, that amount is the same as the first month's rent, and that actually goes to the landlord. So some might look at it as the landlord is not getting their first month's rent, that pays the real estate company, but the landlord is getting the security deposit instead as the first month's rent, and then they don't have to give that back to the tenant until the tenant moves out. Couple things to know about real estate as it relates to tenants and landlords. When you're the tenant and you're trying to find a home to rent, it's good to use a real estate agent because number one, it's free to you to use. When you pay your first month's rent, although you're the one paying it, you would pay the first month's rent anyway. So it's free to use. It's a free service that we offer, and we help you actually find the properties. So you're not looking, online extensively, and you're not having to drive around town and look for an area. We can actually just help you find those properties and take you to view them. And then the last thing is we can help you with negotiating your lease and make sure that it's a very standard lease and that everything in it is what most tenants are paying as well. Because if you're leasing for the first time, you may not know what's standard for a rental agreement. And for the landlords, they do have to give up the first month's rent to the real estate company, which isn't much when you think about they're getting free marketing. A lot of times it's very similar to the same marketing that they would get if they were selling the property. We actually help them screen the applicants. We have the applicants fill out paperwork. We can order the credit reports for them. And we also show the prospective tenants the properties for the landlords so that they don't have to meet them at the properties. They also don't have to negotiate the lease with the tenant. We do that for them. And it is a binding lease. Some landlords, especially if they're new to being a landlord, they may not know a lot of the laws. They may not know exactly what they need to put in the contract. So we do a very standard lease, and it is binding. And we also let them know about laws like, for instance, the lock law, which says that the landlord has to change out the locks before the next tenant moves in. I'm Shannon Register with another edition of Whiteboard Monday. See you next Monday.